Hi guys, it's Jamila here from Slapp. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the brand new Gucci concealer. If you haven't subscribed already guys, please subscribe. We'd love to have you in the Slapp family. And without further ado guys, here is the video. This is the Concentre de Beaute concealer from Gucci. I'm hoping it's better than the foundation I tried recently. The foundation I tried recently was very flat looking. It looked very sad. I got a lot of comments, a lot of like angry comments that I'd used it wrong and that I was the problem and not the foundation. I actually refute all of those comments. It is the foundation that's the problem, not me. So just putting that out there. First foundation I tried from Gucci, I did actually really like. The second one, no bueno. This is the third kind of complexion thing I'm trying from Gucci, but I'm hopeful. I think if this doesn't work, I think it's probably the last complexion thing I'm going to try from Gucci. I love Gucci, you guys know. I love the brow pencils, both of them. I love the bronzer, oh, so good. I love the blusher, so good. The liquid lipsticks were great. Gucci always hits, but so far for foundation it's been very hit and miss, and this is their first ever concealer, so we shall see if it's any good. It is £33 and 47 US dollars, so it's a toppy, slightly pricey concealer, but compared to the Tom Ford one, which I've almost run out of and I really want to repurchase because I really love it, the cream one, which is just so good for like everyday no makeup days, that I think was 56, so 47 US dollars, £33, pretty cheap actually compared to that, and pretty cheap actually compared to most concealers in the luxury high-end market. Charlotte Tilbury one is much cheaper, but it is really small. I've gone through 3 of those in the last 6 months, which isn't really great. I mean, I shouldn't be like going through them that quickly. So this is 8 mils. The Charlotte Tilbury, from what I can see, is 7.2 grams, so pretty much the same. Compared to other things, most concealers tend to be between 8-10 mils, like the Pat McGrath I think is 8. Dior Forever is abnormally large. It is 14 mils, I believe, and other things are around the 8-10. So 8 isn't unreasonable. It means you just go through them really quickly, which is kind of annoying, but I get kind of why they do them because they want you to keep buying stuff. This comes in 39 shades. I got the shade 45W, and I did find this very hard to kind of decide and decipher which shade was going to be my shade. It says this is a lightweight concealer that effortlessly blends for an even second skin finish. Concentre de Beaute easily adapts to diverse skin tones and types, providing a seamless solution for all beauty needs. Powered by skin caring ingredients, the long wearing formula also offers a natural blurred finish that smooths without weighing on the skin. Buildable coverage, a long wear and transfer resistant makeup result. I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to show you guys the packaging, show you some swatches, and then I'm going to get into a demo. so those are the swatches on. I actually really like the shade. I was almost going to go lighter, and I think any lighter would have been too light for me. It definitely is warm, especially compared to things like the Dior Backstage concealers, which are a neutral and a very clear neutral. You can see like the coolness in them, the pinkness in them, whereas the Gucci one looks very warm. It's not very far off from the Hourglass in Maple or the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin in 13. It does feel a tiny bit more olive in undertone. The others look a bit more true gold. The packaging is super cute. It feels like a throwback to good old Gucci days. It's very kind of dressing table kitsch and vintage English countryside vibes, which they do really well. I like the brush as well. It's just a classic mini doe foot, nothing too wild and jazzy. Sometimes people do overcomplicate the applicator and make it less handy and less useful than it needs to be. So I'm excited to try it. I'll try and do a little bit because I tend to use a lot of concealer and not everyone does, and everyone says I overdo it. So I'm gonna just do a tiny dab and see how it goes. Doesn't have the same stretch that I was kind of hoping it would. It definitely does look better than my original dark circle here. My dark circle on this side. You can see that it has covered up, but it doesn't have that kind of stretchy glossiness that like the Dior Forever or the Hourglass do. So I'm going to pop a little bit here. It hasn't really covered up my blemish. It may be because the shade isn't quite dark enough, but I can still see it through. Looking at them side by side, it does do a good job. I don't know if under my eye looks as like flawless and seamless and like stretchy and silky as I would like it to, in the sense that I don't feel like it looks super natural under there. It does kind of look like I have products on under there. I don't know if that's just the shade, but it does feel a little bit like a texture issue as well. So I'm going to give you guys a quick close up, and then I'm going to pop a bit of foundation or tint on this side, and then use the concealer as a highlighter, which something this shade I probably would anyway, and then we'll see how it looks on top. So on this side I'm going to use a bit of the Rare Beauty tint, just because it's a bit rich and I haven't quite become my non-tan shade yet. That's done a very good job of just evening me out. You can see the colour difference there, where the concealer is just a little bit too light to be an all over face concealer. I much prefer it on top of something. I feel like it's doing a good job. So it depends on your skin type. I think if you're oily skin, or combination to oily, I think you're gonna really like this because it is quite matte, but it's not like super drying, but it is on the matter side of concealers. But it sits really well on top of glowier concealers. It kind of feels like it's setting it a bit, much more than some other things I have, which would have slipped or creased by now. And I have to say, on this side, it has not creased at all, hasn't gone into any of my fine lines. Chapter. I'm back. I haven't really done much to my face. I put a little bit of cream bronzer on my cheeks and a tiny bit of highlight on my nose. So I feel like I want to put a bit more on, see what happens, as I tend to do. I'm also not going to powder this down. I want to see how it creases, because so far there are no creases, and I think that in itself is quite remarkable. So I'm going to wear it throughout the day and see how it goes. I'm going to pop a bit more on under both eyes and see what happens. I think the only thing that's throwing it off now is the fact that I've already got like blusher on, and you can see the demarcation, but I'm going to let it sink in for a little bit and then I'll blend it all in and hopefully it will look a bit more seamless. But it does seem to build very well. It definitely does. The second layer doesn't feel cakey on, even though it looks a bit odd now. I will be giving it a wear test. It is now 1:35, don't judge me. It's now 1:35 p.m. We will see how long this wears, how well it wears, what the crease is like during the day, and etc, etc. I'm probably going to look horrendous in like 4 hours, but hey. So I'm happy with it so far. I have a feeling this is going to be something that stays put, which is why I really think I will be using it, and I really think I do like it. I do feel like this blends into my skin really well. Like the longer it's on my skin, the more natural it looks, the more climatized and blended into my skin tone. It just looks quite natural on. The blend out looks a lot more seamless than it did like 5 minutes ago. The shade looks a lot more seamless than it did 5 minutes ago as well, and I just think it does warm up and it does kind of melt into your skin in a way that's quite good. So I do think the shade is actually fine. Initially it's a bit like ooh, and then it's like totally cool. I do like the fact that it hasn't creased yet. I'm going to show you another close-up just to prove that it has not gone into my fine lines. It has not creased at all, which is quite insane. So guys, this is the concealer on inside. The light is a bit more gentle here. It's not actually if I go into the kitchen, as you always know. This concealer is still really good. It is now 6:50. I've been wearing this for 5 hours and 20 minutes. I feel like it is actually a really good concealer. In terms of like the tenacity of it under the eye is insanely good. It really doesn't go into my creases. It really doesn't really budge. Doesn't really move. Doesn't go into my creases. Like it's still there. Like I'm really shocked that it's not like in my fine lines or my creases, and I haven't put any powder on. So I'm actually really impressed with this. I think it's something I will definitely keep using and something I will definitely pair with other things I have. It does definitely look better on the side that had a bit of tint on it, but on the side that I didn't, it looks very natural as well. It looks natural whichever way you wear it, which I really like about this concealer. It just feels like it just looks like my skin, even though it starts off looking a little bit matte and a little bit light. It does kind of sink in, it does blend in really well, and it becomes very seamless. So I'm actually really impressed with this. I'm going to show you closer up to the lamp. This gets a bit scary now. It's really nice, natural, everyday concealer. I'm really impressed with it. See my fine lines, no creases, just fine lines. No creases. Insane. Insane. I think for that 1 minute, I'll show you in the scary light so you can really see it. I think for that reason alone, it is actually a very phenomenal concealer. And considering when I first tried it on, I did not think by the end of the day I'd be saying this or feeling like this, but I'm really happy with it. It does feel a little bit light. At first, it does feel a little bit not dry but matte at first, but it really does blend in and it really does last. I'm really shocked by it. I think it just looks really good. So I'm impressed with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Will you be buying it? Will you be trying it? Do you like the look of it? Let me know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, please subscribe. We'd love to have you in the Slapp family. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.